Hello, it is Pixel Weekly back with another video. This time I'm comparing an iPod Touch 4th generation with an iPod Touch 5th generation. Both of these devices are out of date, but which one is better for the price? On various different websites, the iPod 4th gen goes anywhere from 50 USD all the way up to 180 USD, depending on the storage you get. The iPod 5th gen goes for about 150 for the base model on Apple's website. The 4th gen storage option go all the way from 8 gig all the way up to 64 gig. I have the base model. The 5th gen goes from 16 gig all the way up to 128 gig. I have the 16 gig. The iPod Touch 4th gen is slightly thicker at 0.28 inches. The 5th gen is at 0.24 inches. This might not seem like a big difference on paper, but because of the design of the iPods, it's very noticeable in the hand. The iPod 4th gen is also a lot shorter than the 5th gen, coming in at 4.4 inches, and has a 3.5 inch display. To give an idea of how small it is, the 4th gen could almost fit in the 5th gen screen. Saying that, the iPod Touch 5th gen has a 4-inch screen. It is 4.86 inches high. It's also a tiny bit narrower at 2.31 inches wide instead of 2.32. At an average $60 on eBay for the base model of the iPod Touch 4th gen, you'd pay about $5 per square inch. At $150 for the base iPod 5, you'd pay about $13 per square inch. That's more than double the price of the iPod 4. The iPod 4th gen has a resolution of 960 by 640 with a PPI of 326. The 5th gen has 1126 by 640 display. The battery life on these devices is almost identical. Both have 40 hours of music playback before a need for a charge, and the 5th gen has video playback time of 8 hours, while the 4th gen has only 7 hours. They both take the exact same amount of time to charge, at 80% at 2 hours and 100% at 4 hours. The iPod 4 has a 30-pin connector, while the 5th gen is the first iPod to use the Lightning connector. The Lightning connector is much smaller than the 30-pin connector, and is what Apple uses right now. The iPod 4th gen can record 720p HD video, and takes a 960 by 640 picture. It can record video at 30 FPS. The front-facing camera can record, at according to Apple's website, quote-unquote VGA quality video. Okay, enough with specs. Now let's get into actually what my opinions of both the iPods are, and which one I would recommend to you. With me, I like the bigger screen, and I got so used to the small screen of the iPod 4th gen that I didn't really think about a bigger screen. But when I actually finally got the 5th gen, I found the 4th gen like almost unusable with how small the screen was. Now, as you probably know, the iPod Touch 5th gen is all up to date with iOS 9.3, and in September, it'll be iOS 10, and I think that might be one of the last updates it gets. But the iPod Touch 4th gen still has iOS 6, so if you like retro, if you like the old iOS 6 and you really don't want to update, because I totally understand that, I would recommend the 4th gen, but if you like the newer modern look, definitely the 5th gen, because it's really like night and day with who you are, because you can't kind of really be in the middle like in iOS 6 or iOS 7. You really like either one because they're so different. The iPod's 4th gen heats up fast, okay? After a while of sitting around, it heats up extremely fast when I play even the simplest of games, it's like almost to the point of discomfort. The iPod 5th gen stays cool no matter what so far, and obviously it's more capable of playing games, more RAM, just more. It's not, by no means is it powerful, but it is more capable than the iPod 4. Which iPod you get really depends on what kind of person you are. Some people don't care about latest iPod, iPhone, iPad. They just want something they could play a game on. They could get apps on. And for those people, if you're on a budget, get the iPod 4 because it's still very capable of playing little games as long as it's new, because mine, after being used for 2 years, heats up pretty fast. But if you get it new or even slightly used, it should work fine. But for people who want to make it like their text, FaceTime, and their main thing, I know it's kind of weird saying that about not about a phone. I'd suggest the iPod 5 because it still is cheap, and you're also getting everything you get on iPod 4 plus all of this other stuff, new features that you couldn't do, like a flashlight. So really, for me, I'm the kind of person that'd rather have an iPod 5. So if someone were to suggest something like that, I'd suggest an iPod 5. Anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Leave any comments in the comment section below, and make sure to do your research. What might be good for me could be terrible for you. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more Pixel Weekly.